Thanks for watching News 6 Getting Results. Here are tonight's Florida lottery numbers.
Ahead at 11, a middle school teacher already facing child cyber sex charges won't be getting out of jail, while the feds think there could be 20 more victims and how parents can watch out.
We're pinpointing where more fog settles in tonight and also the potential to break some big-time record highs this week. We're pinpointing that forecast at 11.
Next at 11, Epcot makes changes to get results for more manatees, and you can see it in action.
More fog tonight. Record highs could be broken later this week. Details tonight.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now at 11 p.m.
Now at 11, a fired middle school teacher already facing child cyber sex charges won't be getting out of jail, while the feds think there could be 20 more victims and how parents can watch for trouble.
From the moment a firearm is brandished, you will get an alert, and they actually put a box around the firearm.
Just weeks ago, a local police chief called AI gun detection an important new tool in fighting violence, why a proposed new state law would make using it illegal.
And take a look at our Daytona Beach cam. Fog starting to roll in, so the skyline is beginning to disappear. Jonathan.
Yeah, that fog has been thick through the evening already, especially in parts of Flagler County. You see that working its way down the coast. That will eventually slide inland. We'll pinpoint the timeline on that, as well as some record high temperatures coming our way in a few minutes.
But we start now at 11 tonight with word a federal investigation into a local teacher has uncovered a dozen or more possible underage victims. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Hey, glad you're with us tonight. I'm Matt Austin. So we first told you last week Italo Bonini no longer works at Hunters Creek Middle School. Tonight, a federal judge has ordered him to stay behind bars. News 6's Troy Campbell walks us through what new documents reveal.
Our other top story tonight, a weather alert. Some of you will wake up to dense fog way ahead of the morning commute.
Not to mention getting the kids to school. So you can see, take a look at that fog already rolling into Mount Dora. Those lights are extra bright right there as we look live at the city's downtown. Let's get you right over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas.
Yeah, guys, we are tracking that thick fog again, mainly on the coast right now. That is working its way down from pretty much I-95, A1A from Jacksonville into Palm Coast. We've had this fog hanging around for the last several hours in parts of Flagler and Volusia County. This is gradually going to work its way inland and continue to sink further to the south. By the time you wake up tomorrow, again, the most widespread fog is going to be tied to the coast, but it will become patchy inland once we get into tomorrow morning for your morning commute. Visibility now down, reduced to about a mile in Palm Coast, about 5 miles in Daytona Beach as that fog continues to roll right on down the coastline tonight. Very warm evening. That's part of the reason why we have the fog. We're at 67 at the Cape, 66 degrees in Sanford. Good evening in Groveland. We're back to around 70 degrees also in Orlando. On our way back tomorrow into the upper 70s, lower 80s again after that patchy fog burns off. It will be nice and warm. We're going to pinpoint near record warmth coming in the pipeline as we get towards 11-17, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. New at 11 tonight. Just weeks ago, the Daytona Beach police chief called it a crucial new tool.
The moment a firearm is brandished, you will get an alert, and they actually put a box around the firearm. Even if we don't get there in time to prevent the shooting, if we get there in time to apprehend the suspect, I think it's a win still.
Chief Jakari Young praised AI software called Zero Eyes the day before Daytona Beach commissioners voted unanimously to use it to look for danger in the Seabreeze Entertainment District. But a new state bill filed today would make this kind of software illegal in most public places. News 6's Mike Valenti was in Daytona Beach tonight to find out what this all means. State lawmakers will be back in Tallahassee weeks earlier than expected. Turns out they were called there tomorrow for a second special session on immigration, or technically a third. You may recall the governor called a session last month. Lawmakers immediately canceled that session and called one of their own. Now, that set up a showdown on whether the governor alone enforces immigration laws. It now appears the Republican squabble may be over. In calling tomorrow's session, the Speaker of the House and State Senate President proposed splitting enforcement between the governor, the ag commissioner, and the rest of the cabinet. The bill also gives $250 million to help pay for law enforcement officers involved in immigration operations overseen by the Fed. The bills would also create state-level crimes for illegally entering or re-entering the state. It makes the death penalty mandatory for undocumented immigrants convicted of murder or child rape. We break down the proposed bills on clickorlando.com. We will also let you know what comes out of the session, which is due to end by late Friday.
On the national level, President Trump signed more executive actions tonight, tacking 25% tariffs onto the cost of imported steel and aluminum.
It's 25% without exceptions or exemptions, and that's all countries, no matter where it comes from. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. This is the beginning of making America rich again.
So that will increase costs for manufacturers that use the metals in everything from appliances and beer cans to automobiles. Though Canada is by far our #1 source of imported steel, Germany has already vowed to retaliate. The president says he will announce more tariffs in the next 2 days.
The number of people who are homeless is growing in Orange County. So tonight, Orlando city leaders have approved plans to expand a downtown homeless shelter and services center. But it will be much different than the type of shelters we've seen in the past. They approved plans to build a 9,000 square foot facility for women and children in the area of Paramore and Aussie Streets. Now, the renovation and construction costs will top $60 million with money from the city, the county, grants, and private donations. The Coalition for Homelessness of Central Florida hopes to start construction this June. Well, the money has not all been raised for this new building just yet.
But the need for help for the homeless is growing, as is a surge in arrests over a new state law. Among other things, the law bans camping in public places. It also allows cities and counties to be sued if they ignore complaints. According to the Orlando Sentinel, in January alone, 25 people were arrested in Orlando. 18 have been found guilty and sentenced to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. One person's charges were dropped. The remaining cases are ongoing. This story is brought to you as a part of a collaboration between News 6, the Orlando Sentinel, and other local outlets to bring you in-depth coverage of the new homeless law. You'll find those stories at clickorlando.com. Well, he is the sole suspect in the disappearance of Madeline Soto.
The only one charged in the 13-year-old's murder, but Stephen Stern says everything found on his cell phone should be thrown out of evidence. Next, News 6 investigates the reason for that claim and what it could mean for the charges he faces.
Plus, Epcot makes changes to make room for more manatees. The plan to get more results and how you can see it in action. You're watching News 6 at 11. Live on a Monday night. We're getting results for Cape Canaveral, Mineola, and all of Central Florida.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Rubenstein Law.
It's time to play America's favorite jackpot game. This is Powerball. Good evening, America. I'm Michelle Isles. Tonight, we've got another life-changing jackpot for you in an estimated amount of $141.5 million. Get your tickets out. We'll start things off tonight with the number 43. Right after that, America, we have 18. Let's congratulate Better Late Than Never of Maryland, who won $50,000. Your next number up is 29, followed by 17, and we'll round it out tonight with 2. Now for your winning Powerball number, good luck, everyone. It is 3, and your Power Play multiplier is 3. Let's take another look at those winning numbers. Remember, there are multiple ways to win. We'll see you back here Wednesday night.
Exclusive deals, news. It's just a great way to know a little bit more beyond the newscast.
Now at 11, the man accused of raping and murdering 13-year-old Madeline Soto is trying to get key evidence thrown out of his upcoming trial.
Stephen Stearns is asking a judge to suppress evidence police found on his cell phone. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest looks at what detectives found on the phone and why Stearns says it should be off limits. Well, tonight, Disney is making changes to help get results for Florida manatees. While the number of deaths has dropped, it's still too high.
Yeah, Epcot researchers have helped with manatee care since the Seas Pavilion opened in 1986. In a plan worked out with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Epcot moved some long-term residents to other facilities. Now you'll see younger manatees who need some short-term critical care with hopes that they can be released back into the wild.
Moving our long-term residents, we've been able to double the number of manatees that we'll be able to do through our rehabilitation program.
Wow, how many manatees will you all be able to house?
We should be anywhere between about 6 to 8 manatees.
We're able to get manatees in, rehabilitate them, and release them relatively quickly. So then we can get more manatees in. So the number of animals that are going to come in and out is going to be dramatically increased, which is great because every animal that we send back into the wild is increasing the wild population.
Learn more about Disney's rehab program at clickorlando.com.
I mean, I am almost embarrassed to say I did not know they had a rehab program because when you think of manatees who need rehabbing, I think of SeaWorld. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yes, you do. But it is a very cool exhibit there at Epcot, and you can watch them just chowing down on lettuce.
Oh, I love that.
All day.
Yeah.
It's like, how do they
very
keep
soothing.
those bodies eating lettuce all day?
They're very athletic.
Well, I don't know about that, but they're fun. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joins us now. We've got the fog rolling in.
We also have the potential for some records to fall later on this week, guys, on the high temperature side. So big-time weather changes coming on the pipeline. Here's where the fog is thick right now. It's been thick all evening long in parts of Flagler and Volusia County. Visibility now down to 1 mile in Palm Coast, about 5 miles in Daytona Beach. Best opportunity for fog going to be inland around the Orlando International Airport, down to Kissimmee, into parts of Osceola County, and then right along the I-95 corridor tonight. That's where the most likely opportunity is that you will wake up to some fog tomorrow morning. We are at 67 right now at the Cape, 73. Good evening in Mico. Melbourne, we're back to 73. Same for us. Into Palm Bay, Leesburg, we're back to 68. Wildwood, good evening. We are at 61 degrees. Apopka, we are in the upper 60s. We're waking up to temperatures tomorrow in the low 60s for the most part. Again, do watch out for some patchy fog. That fog will burn off to give way to more sunshine. For that, here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
We are back into the low to mid 80s inland, more like the upper 70s right along the coast. There you go with your average high temperature back to the mid 70s. Again, we are blowing past that by about 10 degrees, and it just gets hotter from here. Average line, that's about in the mid 70s. You see, we blow by that again tomorrow, really doing that on Wednesday, and then also on Thursday before a slight cool down. Getting into Friday, temperatures on Thursday could touch 90 degrees. If that happens, again, the date on that is February 13th. That would be the earliest occurrence of 90 degrees on record, and records go back to the late 1800s. So we will certainly be on record watch as we move through the day on Thursday, and that would be a significant record if we do, in fact, touch 90 degrees. And again, it's a possibility. That's out ahead of this front that will bring us a very slight opportunity for some showers. You see that front as it slides through, it loses a lot of its beef, and then it starts to fizzle out just a little bit. A few more scattered showers, though, going to be possible on Friday. Rain chances increase just a touch Thursday night into Friday. This 7-day forecast is for Ginger. It is decked out in
Jonathan.
hearts. Back to the upper 80s on Wednesday. Right around 90 degrees on Thursday. And again, Friday is Valentine's Day. We're back to the low 80s. Watching also the weather for the Daytona 500. There's an opportunity for some rain to get involved for race day. That's, of course, on Sunday, guys.
Jonathan, she is a married woman.
Be careful what you ask for. That page is all hearts.
It is all hearts.
Good stuff. All right, here are tonight's winning Powerball numbers: 43, 18, 29, 17, 2, and the Powerball is 3.
And here are tonight's Florida lottery numbers: pick 2, 40, pick 3, 9, 7, 5, pick 4, 3, 6, 1, 4, and pick 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 7, and the Fireball is 0. And Fantasy 5, 25, 8, 6, 29, and 4.
And Cash for Life is 13, 15, 17, 20, 55, and the cash ball is 3.
All right, Ryan's here now with sports.
So it's been a hot minute since the Magic had a winning streak.
I don't have any hearts.
No?
How about December 23rd, guys?
That's how long it's been.
That night they beat the Celtics for the second straight win.
Yeah.
They haven't had consecutive wins since then. Tonight, trying to change that with the Hawks in town. And it hurts so good for Eagles fans. Philly quarterback and Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts enjoying the Disney treatment today, hours after his Eagles turned the Superdome into their own Magic Kingdom. We'll be right back.
He got heart.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage Plans.
WKMG has been hitting the road, and we've gone from town to town to town. We're broadcasting live from Grind Gastro Pub and Kona Tiki Bar. February 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. We'll see you soon.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
So the Magic, they haven't had a winning streak since last year, is what I'm hearing.
Last year, December. I know this isn't too much to ask, right? 2 wins in a row, guys? That's not a lot, right?
A two-peat.
That's a streak.
It's a two-peat, exactly. Look, a 500 record gets you first place in the NBA's Southeast Division these days. It's kind of a mess. Orlando and Atlanta neck and neck in the standings. Met tonight for the first time this season. Well, the parade for the Super Bowl champs is Friday in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts, though, had his own parade today at Disney. The MVP was the man of the hour at Magic Kingdom, mere hours after leading the Eagles offense to one of the most impressive wins in Super Bowl history, taking down the Chiefs 40-22. We'll be right back.
Imagine your home totally organized with Closets by Design.
All right, be careful when you head out in the morning.
Yeah, a little bit of fog, especially along the coast. We'll have a few patchy areas of patchy fog inland as well. I don't think it's bad as last week, but just keep it easy. It's all about the heat this week, guys.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news and podcast on News 6+.
It's free to download to your smart TV or your streaming device. We hope you have a great night. We'll see you on Tuesday.